Hello everyone, my name is Lara. Nice to be here. And I'd like to talk about our NeuroTracker project to you guys. So the aim that we're following is to get a better understanding of neurodevelopmental disorders. Currently, around 15% of all children are suffering from a neurodevelopmental disorder, which is almost every sixth child that is living on our planet today. And the symptoms that these children have are often quite severe. They can range from learning disabilities to cognitive impairment, to speech impairment, to seizures, and even to motoric difficulties. And when it comes to treating these patients, there are oftentimes either no treatments available, or the treatments only linger the symptoms, but in a very mild way. And one of the key reasons for that is that the underlying causes which lead to these diseases are still very poorly understood. And if you speak to the scientists which are working on these topics, what a lot of them will tell you is that the sheer amount of data is oftentimes way too much for an individual scientist to get to a result in a quick and efficient way. Which is why I'd like to introduce our NeuroTracker project to you. So we aim at deciphering neurodevelopmental disorders which have an underlying defect in the processing of proteins within the brain by gamifying the analysis of microscopy data. So let's talk about how we will do this. The first thing that I will do is I will image all of the animal brains from mice which we've collected, which have one of these disorders. And I'll then set up photo and video tutorials explaining step by step how the analysis is supposed to be done. These tutorials will be set up on a citizen science platform called Zooniverse. And then the important gaming phase will start, meaning that every citizen, every scientist from around the world can play on our data, and after 5 to 6 months, we'll collect all of the results, perform a final analysis, and then of course all the participants will get the feedback by publishing the results on Zooniverse, and also by, of course, crediting everyone involved in the final publication. So how do we actually recruit people to participate? So what we will do is we'll advertise for the project on all common social media networks such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and I'll also make use of my own scientific networks such as the Einstein Network, for example, and make use of citizen science platforms such as Bürgerschaftenwissen to try and recruit as many people as possible. And you might ask yourself, well, why is it actually necessary to gamify microscopy data analysis? Well, first of all, these analyses are mostly done by one individual scientist, which means that they're extremely time-consuming and biased. And by including many people into such an analysis, there will be many players looking at each image, making the analysis more accurate, and also leading to results in a lot faster way. Also, something that's often critiqued about science in general is that it's a quite intransparent process. There's still this image of the scientists sitting behind closed doors and working on their data, and then only publishing the result when it's ready. But by gamifying at least part of a research project, citizens become co-creators, meaning they are directly involved in generating scientific value. And something I'd also like to stress here is that we're looking at neurodevelopmental disorders, but this is only a starting point. Essentially, this approach can be applied to almost any research project which makes use of microscopy data. And there are examples such as FatChecker and iWire, which Marion already mentioned, which clearly show that the demand for citizens to be involved in science is there. In iWire, for example, there have been several different cell types that have been identified by citizens, not by scientists, which is quite impressive. And as I told you before, while we're sitting here, every sixth child is affected by a neurodevelopmental disorder. So the faster we understand what's going on in these brains, the faster we'll be able to develop tailored therapies which really benefit the patient. And of course, I'd like for you to meet our team as well. We are a basic research group working in dendritic development and have gained over 15 years of research experience in that field. and have also established various collaborations with clinicians over the past, which give us direct access to patients. And with that, I'd like to close, and thank you very much for your attention.